This scary-looking muscular woman achieved superstardom last year when she competed in one of the wildest spectacles in combat sports history.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Jones quickly out on the legs. Heavy pressure from Gabi Garcia.
And she became an internet sensation when footage of a strange face-off went viral ahead of her intergender grappling match. She headlined a BJJ event against one of the best grapplers in the world today, Craig Jones.
They're on their feet at the Thomas and Mack for Craig Jones and Gabi Garcia.
This incredible bout became one of the most watched grappling matches ever. But in MMA, we've rarely seen a woman with such a big stature who could even dwarf a heavyweight male in his prime. So who is this lady with this freakish body grappling a man? Let's dive deep to know more about her. MMA fans, we're talking about Gabi Garcia. This Brazilian super athlete is one of the most successful female grapplers of all time. But even more than that, she's known for her size. This athlete from Brazil stands at 6'2" and weighs over 230 pounds. She's physically intimidating, a real-life version of Brienne of Tarth from the renowned HBO series Game of Thrones. Take a look at this picture. Here she is standing beside her little friend, the axe murderer Wanderlei Silva, arguably one of the most intimidating fighters of all time. Now tell me, who looks more intimidating? You don't need to look carefully. Look at how her physique was able to easily dwarf that of the MMA veteran. This picture was taken when Gabi and Wanderlei trained together. Now look at her next to the legendary Croatian fighter Mirko Krokop. Damn, even against a natural male heavyweight fighter, she looks enormous. And this is after she has had a little transformation of her own. Many hardcore MMA fans will be remembering Joe Rogan and his comments on Chris Cyborg, but we won't go there. Now, before we go too far, let me reiterate that Garcia is much more than just a female with a freakish body. A BJJ black belt, she is one of the most successful female BJJ competitors of all time and a member of the IBJJF Hall of Fame. She is one of the very few individuals who've become ADCC champions 4 or more times. Although there was always a plan to put on the gloves, her MMA career didn't go according to plan. Still, she has an undefeated 6-0 record in MMA with 1 no contest, and all 6 of those are finishes. And that takes us to where she made her name in MMA folklore, all thanks to the Japanese MMA circuit. Understandably so, Japan is the pound-for-pound leader in MMA freak shows. From Fedor fighting unskilled giants to Butterbean and the giant Silvers of the world fighting anyone and everyone to Bob Sapp taking a dive, we've seen it all. While MMA has done its best over the past 20 years to move away from its carnival sideshow sensibilities, the truth is that the history of this sport is full of spectacles like this. Gabi was someone who was just a natural fit for the Japanese matchmaking. From the outset, she comes off as the female version of Giant Silva or Hongman Choi. Take a random MMA fan from the street and ask her about Gabi Garcia, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth will be her beating up old ladies in Japan. Even if you know her, that's certainly the first thing that might come to mind. She fought a total of 7 fights, and all of those opponents had a combined record of 7-4, and 4 out of 7 of them made their MMA debut against Garcia. Yumiko Hotta was the most experienced among them with a record of 5-4. She was a 50-year-old pro wrestler when she fought the Brazilian back in 2016. Needless to say, she lost the fight, that too, in just 40 seconds. But who cares? Even before the fight started, we knew the outcome and the majority came to see anything but Gabi fighting for real. Most of the action happened after the fight when out of nowhere, Jazzy Gabbert, better known by her stage name Alpha Female, walked in and announced her intentions to fight Gabi. Initially showing restraint, but later Gabi walked straight up to her face and started trash talking.
I, Jazzy Gabbert, want to challenge you, Gabi Garcia.
Well, forget Rizin. Here we go.
Jazzy Gabbert, wanna kick your ass.
Let's go. You have more 5 fights. Let's go in the back, change your clothes, and let's go fight now.
We all knew that a fight in the cage wouldn't be that pretty between them, so it's better to let them fight backstage, or at least try to do that, but for whatever reason, this never materialized. Let me highlight another Rizin show back in 2017. Garcia was supposed to fight Shinobu Kandori, but the bout was cancelled. Reason, Gabi missed weight by 27 pounds. While that was preposterous, the most outrageous fact was that her opponent weighed in at 162 pounds. That made Gabi a solid 75 pounds heavier than her. Ultimately, the fight didn't take place, another surprise considering Rizin's penchant for such bizarre matchmaking. The only time we ever saw her in a pinch of danger was in her MMA debut, where she was facing Lady Tapa. Gabi looked awkward on her feet, then she was knocked down by a straight right hand by Tapa. While Garcia recouped, a minute later she ended the fight via punches on the ground, and those hammer fists at the end by Garcia were too gentle at best. Perhaps Gabi showed her kindness towards her downed opponent. Japan, oh Japan, where will we find spectacles like these? Take any of her MMA fights, it looked like we were watching a David versus Goliath matchup where it's almost guaranteed we'll never see the fairy tale ending. It's like the opponent is held hostage in the ring against the Brazilian like a sacrificial lamb. For all her considerable accomplishments in the world of jiu-jitsu, it's sad we didn't see her competing on the biggest stage in MMA. She definitely has the medals to prove her grappling skills, but we don't have anybody legit in MMA at her weight class. There was a big reason for all her fights happening in Japan. Only Japan can put up an opponent against anyone with that imposing stature. Gabi is 39, and it's very unlikely that she'd compete against top MMA fighters in the future. But fans were always curious how she'd do against the likes of Chris Cyborg, Amanda Nunes, and Ronda Rousey. Of course, Gabi will have a huge size advantage, but she's one-dimensional at best. When you watch her MMA fights, which are against virtually unknown competition, you'd guess what would have happened there. After going over her BJJ and MMA career in detail, we still have too many things to talk about. Gabi had already done many crazy feats before reaching this point. For example, she holds multiple world records in the Guinness Book, such as being the first woman to teach on The Ultimate Fighter and being the first woman to train a sheikh in Abu Dhabi. She once beat a man in arm wrestling, and not just any man, it was Chris Cyborg's boyfriend Ray Elby.
You got this! Vai, baby,
While seeing that humongous build, you'd be forgiven for uttering the words PED and Gabi Garcia in the same sentence. In 2014, Garcia was stripped of her 2013 IBJJF World Championship when she was found guilty of taking clomiphene, which is on the USADA banned substance list. Finally, let's talk about the CJI event, which she headlined against Craig Jones. A spectacle in the world of BJJ with an intergender grappling main event. Their fight looked to be over before it even began when Jones kissed Garcia at the face-off, with the scrap being cancelled. As expected, Jones won the bout when he submitted her, but it wasn't about Jones versus Gabi. Rather, the event was to challenge the might of ADCC in the grappling world. Many hardcore BJJ fanatics felt like the whole Craig-Gabi thing was cringy at best, but there was a certain amount of interest and buzz among the casuals that made the whole event what it was. People watched CJI because of it, and there was a genuine interest and excitement among the majority related to the event.
Did Craig Jones just change jiu-jitsu? He might have. He might have just changed the sport of jiu-jitsu. What an enormous success it was.
Thanks to both competitors, BJJ got its fair share of eyeballs, and we hope that happens often from now on. So that was all about Gabi Garcia and her career in combat sports. She's a giant of a woman with pounds of solid muscle, having a legit BJJ pedigree but a questionable MMA career. So what do you guys think about this? Could Gabi hang with the best MMA fighters? Would you still like to see her clash with some of the best female fighters in the game? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sports Key to MMA for more fun stories.